The genesis of this show goes back a couple of years. So the idea of honoring this community, which is so uniquely northern New Mexico, came about 2 years ago. And at first we thought it would just be a photo show. We would find a few photographers, put up a small exhibit of 20, 25 people, or photographs. And then this exhibit space came available. So all of a sudden we had the capacity to put cars in the exhibit. So there are 2 cars in the exhibit. So why at the museum? Because it's a really important part of New Mexico culture. When we started this out, I had maybe 5 or 6 photographers I knew of that photographed lowriders. So I started trolling the internet, Google Images, Flickr, places like that, finding really interesting photographs, tracking down the photographers, asking them if they wanted to be in a show. Interestingly enough, there is no collection of lowrider photography in the West that I could find. Arizona, Colorado, California, I searched everywhere. Nobody has a lowrider collection. So one of the things I asked of all the photographers being in the show is to contribute their photographs to the photo archives. So we're going to have a collection of lowrider photographs, the only one that I know of in the West. Lowriding is not unique to New Mexico. There are lowrider clubs in Kuwait, California, Amsterdam, huge in Japan, Brazil. One of the things that makes New Mexico lowriders unique is how it got here. And that was New Mexican folks went to LA during World War II to work in the factories, primarily aircraft factories. And the interesting thing that they did is that these guys working in aircraft factories, originally they would just cut the springs on cars or throw sandbags in to get them low. But they're working in aircraft factories where they have hydraulics to raise and lower airplane flaps. It was like, let's put these in cars. So it's evolved to this thing now of not only lowering but hopping, where you have cars that literally dance on the ground. We have 2 cars on permanent display in the exhibit. The first is a 1948 Chevy Fleet Line owned by a fellow here in Santa Fe. And that's a sort of an old school lowrider. It's just been lowered. It doesn't have hydraulics, it's just lowered. It has 13-inch wheels and it's about 3 inches off the ground. The other car in there is what's called a hopper, and that's an 83 Chevy Monte Carlo with hydraulics. And that one can pop off the ground. So those are the 2 on permanent display. And then down in the lobby, we have 2 cars that will rotate out. We have Johnny Tapia, the Boxer's lowrider, which is a 1950 Mercury, beautiful car. And then we have a 1931 Ford Street Hot Rod with this super power plant and a 490 rear end, so you can basically go like 60 miles an hour in first gear. And those 2 cars will rotate every 2 or 3 months. We'll bring different cars in. So I have a whole roster of cars that will be coming through over the course of the year.